it's for your mind, your body, spirit, and emotions. And don't act like you don't have time. You have time for everyone and everything else. Sit back and relax because if you're here, that means this show is for you or it's for someone you know. But most likely, it's for both of y'all. Deep breaths, love. Let's go. Well, family. Hey, family. Hey, family. Hey, family. It is your girl, Mrs. Michelle Allen Franklin. Yes, Mrs. Michelle D.I. Honey, why? For divine intervention. Because you know there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl's going to give you the good information, boo. The things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. And honey, it is Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. We on the radio. Yes, it's Monday, 1 o'clock, and we are on the radio. Grateful to God to be back yet again. Yet again. I don't know about y'all, but the sun came out. I ain't never been so happy to see the sun. Was it cold this weekend? What happened? Oh my goodness. I told y'all before, your girl is from Baltimore, Maryland. So everybody is like, you should be used to the cold weather. Uh-huh. Yeah. But that's why I'm in Texas. It's not supposed to be cold in Texas. That's just how I feel about it. I get my spirit get a little irritated when it's cold in Texas. It's not supposed to be in the 40s. That's just how I feel about it. I'm going to talk to God about that too. Lord, could you just please come on and take all that away. Bring the sunshine back. I'm just grateful for the sunshine today and for to see 60s instead of 40s. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. That's where we at with it. Well, you know how your girl do. All month long, we have been talking about demonic entities. We're in the middle of our demonic entity series. This is week 4. Y'all know how your girl do. I talk about the mind week 1, the body week 2, the spirit week 3, and your emotions on week 4. And it is week 4 in this demonic entity series. And so we're diving on in to emotions. Now, for those of y'all who may be new, I have a podcast. It is Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. That is Reflections CMGF, Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. It is on YouTube. We only have 30 minutes here together to dive into the subconscious mind and see what things may be holding us hostage subconsciously. That is your girl's purpose. That's part of it anyway, is to bring you some healing in the spirit of education, right? I feel like I did not know the depth of depression, the anxiety, the panic attacks, the PTSD that I was suffering from. It was a lack of knowledge. And so now that I do know, and your girl did her own healing journey through praying, fasting, multiple healing groups, and different healing modalities that the Lord sent my way. Now I'm getting my Harriet Tubman on, honey. I'm coming back for you, boo. Yes, I've broken free from some of those subconscious chains, and I am here to help you to break free as well. Or, like I said, somebody that you know and may love, but 9 times out of 10, boo, it's for both of y'all. So here we go with emotions today. Demonic entities are spirits, and that's how the Lord gave it to me. They are the fallen angels that fell from heaven when the devil was kicked out of heaven, and those 200 angels, and how they show up in our lives as demonic entities: the spirit of fear, the spirit of anger, the spirit of jealousy, unforgiveness, are some ways that they show up in our lives. And again, if you go over to the YouTube channel, I do have scroll on over to podcasts and scroll down to demonic entities, and there are multiple um, fear and jealousy and all these different ones that I've done already. But today I'm going to touch base on one that I've talked about, but I haven't ever really dove into. So I might get a little emotional today, and it's okay because this is all in the spirit of healing. Um, and again, to go back and grab someone to help you to get free. So here we go. We're talking emotional unavailability today. Emotional unavailability is when a person is unable or unwilling to connect with others on a deep emotional level. It can show up in romantic relationships, friendships, or even your family dynamics. These people may avoid vulnerability, have difficulty expressing or handling emotions, or pull back when relationships start to deepen. It doesn't mean, this is the key right here, that they don't feel things. Or for me, it doesn't mean, and this is what I want you to know, it doesn't mean that these individuals that have this don't love you. And this is so significant for me. It doesn't mean that they don't love you. It's more about not knowing how or being afraid to fully engage emotionally. And that's key. Keep that in mind as we move forward. So, why is this an important conversation? For me, what I realized is that I have so many individuals in my life that are unemotionally unavailable. And when I started thinking about this and just going and healing from it, um, what I realized when I talked about having the thoughts of suicide, and I talk about this often, um, it was because I felt like there were certain people in my life that didn't love me. I felt like I was alone in situations. And again, it wasn't because they didn't love me, right? It's not because your mom doesn't love you that she's unavailable. It's not because your dad doesn't love you that emotionally unavailable. Your cousin, your brother, your sisters, it's right. These people, maybe somebody, that you hold near and dear. It's not that they don't love you. It is because they are just unavailable emotionally. But that was the core reason for me having these suicidal thoughts of is being in a situation and feeling like I was alone and that the people that I love didn't love me. And so this is huge, guys. This is huge. And so understanding a little bit of this is it helps you to give compassion to that person and also to know to not take it personal. So we're just going to look at it. Why does it develop? Excuse me, we're going to go into what effect does emotional availability have on those that you love? Like I said, it created in me some thoughts of suicide. Number one was emotional confusion and insecurity, right? These people, they can be hot, they can be cold, they avoid vulnerability and they pull away. It leaves others constantly wondering, do they care about me? Did I do something wrong? Why won't they let me in? Their inconsistency can cause you to question your worth or your feeling. It it causes you to question your worth. Number two is feeling lonely. These are reasons. What effect does emotional unavailability have on those you love? And feeling lonely in a relationship. I know that some of you have been in a relationship where you felt alone, like that person was just not available for you. You can be physically there and physically present, but emotionally absent. Y'all know the song. I know this is a gospel station, but I'm just saying your body is here with me, but your mind it's on the other side of town. I I'm not that old. I remember playing it on the radio when I was younger though. Yes, you can be physically present, but emotionally absent. For someone who craves connection, this feels like being in a one-sided bond. They may say things like, I feel like I'm alone, even when You're together. I don't really know you. You never open up to me. This is for the person that is in the relationship, and this is for the person that may be saying those things. It creates emotional starvation where they keep giving but don't receive in depth in return. Have you ever felt that way? Number three, you're walking on eggshells. People with that are unemotionally available, you walk on eggshells around them. If you're emotionally if your emotional walls, excuse me, make it hard to talk about deeper things or handle conflict, they may start avoiding issues just to keep the peace, which is a dangerous dynamic, just avoiding the conversations, right? Number four, they might try harder, loving more. You may start giving more, being more patient. It doesn't matter. In hopes that you'll finally open up. You're hoping that that person will finally open up, but they generally won't. Over time, it leads you to burnout. It leads to self abandonment. It because you are really giving yourself to this person that is not giving back to you. And so you feel drained, you feel empty, you just pouring and pouring and pouring, right? These are for all my givers. You end up sometimes with people that are emotionally unavailable for this reason. Choosing unavailable partners can create cycles. Generally, once you pick one, if you grew up with one, then you will pick one, right? Unknowingly, very subconsciously, because it's familiar. hmm And familiar feels safe. Doesn't mean it's always right. I'm talking to somebody. Somebody heard that. Somebody felt that thing. Doesn't mean that it's right. It's just safe because that's what you're used to. Because again, if you grew up in a home like this, then you don't even realize that that's the subconscious mind pulling you to that feeling of safety. Emotional wounds. Being with someone emotionally unavailable can trigger old wounds, especially if they've dealt with rejection, abandonment, or neglect in the past. It can re traumatize and reinforce beliefs like I'm not lovable. People always leave me, and love means pain. This is very, very true for people that are in domestic violence relationships and justified in their mind to stay. Because again, if you grew up in a home seeing this or being with someone that's emotionally unavailable, then you make that okay in your mind. And so this is huge. This is really, really huge, guys. So let's go up. Why does unavailability even develop? These are some causes, and this is where we're given understanding and forgiveness. We're leading down a road to forgiveness. This is what led me down this road to forgiveness, because what happens when you're with people that are unavailable to you and you've been given to them, it will create a spirit of anger in you, right? It creates a spirit of confusion, um, you know, and so it's hard for you to function in that way. Again, creates feelings of suicide. It creates this unemotional instability in your life, right? In your spirit. And so just trying to understand, why do these people even become unavailable? Why does emotional unavailability even develop? Number one is childhood experiences. If someone grew up in an environment where emotions were dismissed, punished, or ignored, they may have learned to shut down emotionally as a defense mechanism. Is that you, or is that someone that you love? Childhood experiences. Number two is trauma or abandonment. Past relationships that involve betrayal, abuse, or abandonment can make someone guard their emotions to avoid being hurt again. Number three is fear of intimacy. Getting close to someone can feel risky to someone who's unemotionally unavailable, especially if they've been vulnerable before and it went badly. Number four is mental health issues. Conditions like anxiety, depression, or avoidant personality traits can contribute to the development of an emotional unavailable person. The last one is cultural or gender norms. Some people are raised to believe expression emotions is weak. This is huge for our men, and especially in some cultures, right? You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to show any emotion. That means that you're weak. Boy, why you worried about that? What? I know you're not crying about that. Wipe your face. What you crying for? What does that do? That teaches our boys, that teaches our children not to show emotion, that to feel shame about their emotion, to feel some guilt about their emotion. Demonic. Then one thing I want to just deposit into your spirit, if you are a parent, if you are have done this, if you have said these things, if you have experienced these things, this is not to create shame and more guilt. It is to acknowledge, and it is for the spirit of healing. It is to create an environment for a conversation, maybe an environment for an apology. I know that myself as a parent, being young, I was 17, pregnant, a senior in high school. I didn't make all the best decisions with my baby girl. I was very emotional, newly divorced, stressed about all of the things, right? I myself, because I have experienced unemotional availability, and when I got to thinking about it, it was all around me. And so very subconsciously, I dipped in and out of it. When I think about like my span of these 47 years, the Lord has blessed me to be here. I have dipped in and out of being emotionally unavailable when I have been hurt in relationships, when I've been hurt in my family, when I've been hurt in different situations. I will back up. Oh, it's automatic. I shut down. What do you do? Do you feel any of that? Is anybody out there, can anybody out there relate to what I'm saying today? Because what I feel when I thought about it, I said, man, this has affected across the spectrum of my childhood, of my teenage years, of my young adulthood, and all the way up into my 40s still. And so I know it's just not me. That's one of the reasons why I do what I do, because when I did the research and understanding that there's going to be 1 in 8 people with some kind of mental illness or mental distress or mental something or another in their lifetime, it's things like this that I know contribute to it. And so we have to talk about it. So, how do you recognize if you're emotionally unavailable? How to recognize if you are the emotional unavailable person? Do you avoid deep conversations or deflect emotional topics? Do you struggle to express your own feelings? Do you keep people at arm's length, even if you crave connection? Do you choose partners who are unavailable themselves? Oh, it's a big sign. Let me tell you something about this one. And I understand this is a Christian channel, but we are all grown here. This is a gospel station. So I'm just going to share this. There was a period of point in time in my life where I was so disgusted with the relationships that I had been. And I told my cousin, I said, you know what? I am just going to find me a boy toy. That's what I said, to all the pastors. That's what I said. I'm just going to find me a boy toy. And I'm just going, this what's going to be. That's what I said. And my cousin responded back to me. She said, Michelle, that's not you. You're not going to do that. And I thought, I was just in a place of disconnect. I didn't want to feel anything anymore. I was done with that love stuff, right? Choosing partners who are unavailable themselves. It is, how do you make it okay to be the other woman? How do you make it okay in your mind to be the other man? How do you make it okay in your mind to be in relationship when you know it's not going anywhere? I know this is uncomfortable. I know it's uncomfortable, honey, but this is my assignment. It's an uncomfortable conversation. But how do we get there if you don't address it, boo? If you don't look at that thing, how are you going to get up out of there? How are you going to get from that stuck place? You got to address it. You got to look at it, not looking at yourself in shame and guilt and for all the things and all the decisions. Because I'm going to tell you right now, whoever you think is like the cleanest, best, holiest person on these gospel waves, I promise you they've made some mistakes. I promise you that on this side of heaven, everyone, yeah, everyone in the number, no one is worthy. Everyone has made some mistakes. Everyone has done something that they're not as proud of. Everyone has talked, done, whatever, all of the things, right? So don't do that to yourself, boo. Don't do that to yourself. I have three more. This is how to recognize that you are emotionally unavailable. It is feeling overwhelmed or irritated when others express emotional needs. Feeling overwhelmed or irritated. Can you imagine talking to somebody? Or have you ever talked to someone and you're trying to be, and they just, what? What you, all of that? Yeah. Emotionally unavailable. Preferring casual or short term relationships. Baby, this is it right here. Preferring casual or short term relationships. I was deep in this in the hot minute. We're going to we're moving forward to a relationship series starting next week. We're going to dip into a relationship series. But preferring casual or short term relationships, we're going to talk about it. The last one is getting anxious or uncomfortable with vulnerability. Getting anxious or uncomfortable with vulnerability. Do you? Right? Do you get anxious or uncomfortable with vulnerability? All right, that's how to recognize it. Let's talk about how to fix it, right? If you want to start fixing it, how to fix it. Because healing emotional unavailability is possible, but it takes time. And this is the big thing to know. You've been this way probably for a long time. I had to give myself some grace in this because I was saying that I wanted to be in a relationship, and I realized that right around 40, I was like, oh, I think I'm about ready to be in a relationship. On my healing journey, I realized I had spent 20 years, 20 years saying that I wanted to, but no, we're gonna get into it a little bit more in the relationship series. But honey, 20 years had passed, and I wasn't available. I wasn't available. I talk about it in my fear video. I had a young man after my divorce that I was talking to. Now y'all know after that divorce, if you've been divorced, you gonna go through a phase. And some people might be still in it today. But honey, I was saying I was moving on, but I didn't move on. I love to cook, didn't I cook for that man? He asked me to cook. I was like, I don't do that. Mm-mm. I don't do that. Love to cook. Do you hear me? Emotionally unavailable. Okay, how do we fix it? We acknowledge it is number one. Acknowledge it, boo. Admitting to yourself that you might be unemotionally available is the first and the biggest step. I promise you, if you take one step, God will take two. Acknowledge it. Number two is reflect. What I had to do today is journal. I've gone to therapy. I've been in therapy for some years now. And then that self-inquiry, that is taking a look in the mirror, honey. Looking at the things. How can you help yourself? You trace back to where it started. When did you start feeling this way? Like I said, in my lifetime, I've gone through periods of time where I've been unemotionally available. And then I'll step out in the water and say, oh, I'm going to try this. And nope, get hurt again. And I'll dip going back. Nope, going back. Oh, let me try it again. It seemed like it's been a couple years. Let me see. Nope, still jacked up. And I would just close on back up, right? But that's not how God want us to live. He didn't give us the spirit of fear to live like that. So it's, what are you afraid of, boo? Think about that thing. Was I afraid of being married again? No, I wasn't. I was afraid of getting my heart broke again. I was afraid of the pain that came with that. That's what I was avoiding. That's what I called myself protecting, right? This unemotionally unavailability is a protection mechanism that we develop. When did it start? When did you feel like you had to start protecting yourself this way? Number 3, learn to tolerate vulnerability. Learning to tolerate vulnerability. It feels risky, but practice opening up, of course, with people that you trust. Number 4 is build emotional vocabulary. Learn to name your feelings. It sounds very simple, but a lot of people can only identify mad, sad, or I'm fine. And y'all know I'm fine is the biggest lie ever told. So getting more specific about the way that you express yourself, being more specific, how do you feel? Are you fine? No, you're not. So what else can you say? Number 5 is therapy. Honey, I'm telling y'all, a therapist is going to be the solution every time and everything, because a trained professional can always help you to guide and unpack those emotional walls and learn and help you to learn how to have some healthy intimacy. Number 6 is mindfulness. I got 2 minutes, y'all. I'm going to wrap it up, but 2 minutes. Mindfulness and self-compassion. This is huge. It's having compassion for yourself. Again, not beating yourself up for this is where you've been because you've been in survival mode, right? But becoming more aware of your emotional reactions in the moments can help you choose connection over withdrawal. And to close, is clarifying what you can help with. Hang on, let me find my note. What can help? So clarity, being honest with yourself about your emotional capacity helps. Then stop guessing and blaming others. Small acts of vulnerability, even just saying I'm struggling to open up, can mean the world to someone who loves you. And then, of course, we talked about therapy and self-help. It shows the commitment, not just to your growth, but to protecting the relationships with the people that you love. And so, family, that was, I know that was a little heavy, but it is a necessary conversation that we need to have. Again, with who, boo? With you. Okay? I'm going to see y'all next week. We'll be back and we'll be starting our relationship series next week. Thank you for tuning in to Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free with your girl, Miss Michelle D.I. Every week, we will have the uncomfortable but necessary conversations as it relates to your mind, your body, your spirit, and emotions. You've suffered long enough. It's time to break free. So join me every Monday at 1 p.m. right here on KGLD Radio, where you can fill your spirit with gospel all day long. See you next week.